Could a single gorilla defeat a group of people? Most would say no, but when you realize how powerful and intelligent gorillas truly are, the answer might surprise you. Let's explore what makes them such unstoppable forces of nature. In the dense rainforests of Central Africa, a powerful yet gentle creature moves with grace through the undergrowth. The gorilla, the largest of all primates, is a symbol of strength, intelligence, and family bonds. Despite their imposing size, gorillas are peaceful animals that spend most of their time foraging, grooming, and caring for their group members. There are two species of gorillas, the eastern gorilla and the western gorilla, and each species is further divided into two subspecies. The eastern gorilla includes the mountain gorilla and the eastern lowland gorilla, also known as Grauer's gorilla. The western gorilla includes the western lowland gorilla and the Cross River gorilla. Mountain gorillas are perhaps the most well-known, thanks to conservation efforts and documentaries. But all gorilla subspecies share many traits and behaviors. Gorillas are primarily herbivores, feeding on a diet of leaves, stems, fruit, and occasionally insects like ants and termites. Their massive jaws and large molar teeth are adapted to grinding tough plant material. A fully grown male gorilla, often referred to as a silverback, due to the distinctive patch of silver hair on his back, can weigh up to 400 pounds and stand about 5.5 feet tall when upright. Despite this size, gorillas are remarkably gentle and shy creatures, preferring to avoid conflict whenever possible. Their muscular arms are longer than their legs, enabling them to move using a form of locomotion known as knuckle walking, where they support their weight on their knuckles while moving through the forest. Social structure is at the heart of gorilla life. Gorillas live in groups called troops or bands, typically led by a dominant silverback who is responsible for the protection and cohesion of the group. A typical troop may consist of one silverback, several females, and their offspring. However, in some cases, groups may include multiple silverbacks, though there will always be a clear leader. The silverback dictates the group's movements, mediates conflicts, and is the first line of defense against predators or rival males. The bond between the silverback and his group is incredibly strong, often maintained through vocalizations, grooming, and physical displays of strength. Communication among gorillas is complex and involves a combination of vocalizations, body postures, facial expressions, and gestures. They use hoots, grunts, and chest beats to convey different messages, from alerting the group to danger to expressing contentment or asserting dominance. The iconic chest-beating display, often dramatized in media, is typically a non-violent show of strength meant to intimidate rivals without engaging in actual combat. This behavior is not exclusive to silverbacks. Younger males and even females may perform chest beats during play or excitement. Gorillas are highly intelligent animals, with the capacity for problem-solving, tool use, and even understanding aspects of human language. Some gorillas in captivity have been taught sign language and can communicate with their human caretakers using a vocabulary of hundreds of signs. Coco, a famous western lowland gorilla, became an ambassador for gorilla intelligence, showcasing her ability to express emotions, understand abstract concepts, and even care for pet kittens. In the wild, gorillas have been observed using sticks to gauge water depth or as makeshift bridges, highlighting their practical problem-solving skills. Reproduction in gorillas is a slow process. Female gorillas typically give birth to a single infant after a gestation period of about 8.5 months. Twins are rare. Gorilla infants are born helpless and are dependent on their mothers for care and nourishment. A mother carries her infant clinging to her chest for the first few months, and later the infant will ride on her back. Weaning occurs at around 3 to 4 years of age, though infants will remain close to their mothers for several years after. The silverback plays a crucial role in protecting the young, often showing remarkable patience and gentleness with infants, even tolerating their playful antics. Despite their strength and adaptability, gorillas face numerous threats in the wild. Habitat destruction due to logging, agriculture, and human settlement has fragmented gorilla populations, making it harder for them to find food and mates. Poaching, although illegal, continues to be a problem, with gorillas sometimes being hunted for bushmeat or captured for the illegal pet trade. Additionally, diseases like Ebola have devastated certain gorilla populations, further endangering these great apes. Conservation efforts are ongoing, with organizations working to protect gorilla habitats, combat poaching, and engage local communities in conservation initiatives. Ecotourism has also played a significant role in gorilla conservation, with carefully regulated trekking experiences, providing funds and awareness for protection programs. Gorillas play a vital role in their ecosystems as seed dispersers. By consuming a variety of fruits and excreting the seeds in different locations, they help maintain the health and diversity of the forest. Their presence indicates a well-balanced ecosystem, and their decline can signal environmental degradation. Understanding and preserving gorillas is not only important for their species, but also for the broader health of their habitats. The physical appearance of gorillas is immediately striking. Their thick, dark fur provides insulation against the cold, especially for mountain gorillas living at higher altitudes. Male gorillas develop large sagittal crests on top of their skulls, providing attachment points for their massive jaw muscles. Their faces, hands, and feet are hairless and display a remarkable level of dexterity. Gorillas can manipulate objects with precision, using their fingers to delicately groom each other or extract termites from mounds. Their eyes, deep-set and expressive, often reflect a calm intelligence that resonates with human observers. In the wild for gorillas is largely dictated by their search for food. They are primarily diurnal, meaning they are active during the day and rest at night. Mornings and afternoons are spent foraging and feeding, with a long midday rest period. In the evenings, gorillas build nests to sleep in. These nests can be made on the ground or in trees, constructed from leaves and branches. Each gorilla typically builds a new nest every night, though infants may share nests with their mothers until they are older. The process of a young male gorilla becoming a silverback is a significant transformation. Around the age of 12, males begin to develop the distinctive silver saddle of hair on their backs. Prior to this, they are known as blackbacks. As they mature, these males may leave their natal group to become solitary or to attempt to start their own group by attracting females. This dispersal helps prevent inbreeding and promotes genetic diversity among gorilla populations. Solitary silverbacks may roam for several years before successfully forming a new troop. Conflict among gorillas, while rare, does occur, particularly when a lone silverback attempts to take over an established group. These confrontations can involve intense displays of strength, vocalizations, and sometimes physical fights. However, actual lethal encounters are uncommon, as gorillas generally prefer to resolve disputes through intimidation rather than violence. The incumbent silverback's primary concern during such takeovers is the protection of his group's infants, as rival males may commit infanticide to bring the females back into estrus. Gorillas share about 98% of their DNA with humans, making them one of our closest relatives. This genetic similarity is reflected in their behaviors, social bonds, and emotional expressions. Observing gorillas often reveals familiar gestures and interactions, from a mother tenderly cradling her infant to siblings play wrestling in the yard. Underbrush. Their capacity for empathy, grief, and joy is well documented, further blurring the line between humans and our primate cousins. In their natural habitats, gorillas are preyed upon by very few predators. Leopards have been known to attack gorillas, particularly infants, but such incidents are rare due to the protective presence of silverbacks. Humans remain the greatest threat to gorillas, both directly through poaching and indirectly through habitat destruction and disease transmission. The close genetic relationship between humans and gorillas means that diseases like the flu or the common cold can be deadly to gorilla populations, making human-wildlife interaction a delicate matter that requires strict health protocols. Story of gorilla conservation is a testament to the power of international cooperation and local community engagement. Dian Fossey's pioneering work in the 1960s brought global attention to the plight of mountain gorillas, laying the foundation for conservation efforts that continue to this day. Protected areas like the Virunga National Park in the Democratic Republic of Congo and Volcanoes National Park in Rwanda have become strongholds for gorilla populations, though they remain under constant threat from political instability and resource exploitation. One of the most remarkable aspects of gorilla behavior is their capacity for mourning. Observations have documented instances of gorillas grieving over deceased group members, sitting quietly near the body, or gently touching and inspecting it. Such behaviors suggest a deep emotional intelligence and a capacity for understanding death, emotions that resonate deeply with human observers. In captivity, gorillas face a different set of challenges. While modern zoos strive to provide enriched environments that mimic natural habitats, the psychological well-being of captive gorillas is a constant concern. Enrichment activities, social groupings, and spacious enclosures are essential for maintaining the mental and physical health of gorillas in human care. Captive gorillas have also contributed significantly to scientific research, providing insights into primate cognition, communication, and social dynamics that would be difficult to observe in the wild. Gorillas are not just animals of brute strength. They are sentient beings with intricate social lives, emotional depth, and a critical role in their ecosystems. Protecting them is not merely an act of conservation, but a recognition of our shared lineage and the fragile interconnectedness of life on Earth. As we continue to learn more about these magnificent creatures, the importance of preserving their habitats and ensuring their survival becomes ever more urgent, reminding us that the fate of gorillas is intimately tied to the health of our planet. Gorillas have long held a place in human mythology and storytelling, often portrayed as monstrous or savage creatures in popular media. Early explorers and colonial narratives exaggerated tales of aggressive man-eating apes lurking in the jungle. These depictions, though sensational, were far removed from the true nature of gorillas. In reality, they are shy and peaceful beings, more inclined to retreat into the forest than confront perceived threats. The misrepresentation of gorillas in media contributed to a deep misunderstanding of their behavior. But over time, as more people encountered accurate portrayals through documentaries and conservation efforts, perceptions began to shift. In their daily lives, gorillas exhibit a remarkable level of social intelligence. Grooming is a vital activity, serving not just hygienic purposes, but also reinforcing social bonds within the troop. A grooming session between two gorillas is an intimate moment of trust where individuals remove dirt, parasites, and dead skin from one another. These sessions often involve gentle gestures, soft vocalizations, and prolonged physical contact, demonstrating a level of care and affection comparable to that seen in human relationships. Play is another crucial aspect of gorilla social life, especially among juveniles. Young gorillas engage in play fighting, chasing, and climbing, developing physical skills and social connections that are essential for their growth. Play behavior also occurs among adults, fostering a sense of unity within the group. These moments of shared joy illustrate the emotional depth of gorillas, dispelling any lingering myths of them as brutish or mindless animals. One of the most fascinating elements of gorilla behavior is their use of tools. Although not as prolific tool users as chimpanzees, Gorillas have been observed using sticks to test water depth, using leaves as makeshift gloves to handle stinging nettles, and even crafting simple mats from foliage to sit on damp ground. These behaviors highlight their problem-solving abilities and adaptability, traits that are crucial for survival in the diverse and changing environments they inhabit. Gorillas are primarily terrestrial, but are also adept climbers, particularly the younger and lighter individuals. They move using a form of locomotion known as knuckle walking, where they walk on all fours with their weight supported on the knuckles of their hands. This method of movement is shared with chimpanzees and reflects an evolutionary adaptation to their large body size. Despite their bulk, gorillas are capable of surprising agility and can scale trees when necessary, particularly when foraging for fruit. The lifespan of a gorilla in the wild typically ranges from 35 to 40 years, though individuals in captivity, with access to veterinary care and consistent food sources, can live into their 50s. Aging silverbacks often pass leadership of the troop to a younger, stronger male, though this transition is not always peaceful. Challenges from younger males can lead to confrontations, but more often, the leadership change occurs gradually, with the older silverback mentoring his successor. Gorillas possess a diverse vocal repertoire used for communication within their groups. From soft grunts and hums during feeding to loud hoots and barks when alerting the group to potential threats, these vocalizations form a sophisticated system of social interaction. Researchers have identified over 24 distinct vocal sounds used by gorillas, each with its specific context and meaning. These calls help maintain cohesion within dense forest environments where visual contact is often limited. The conservation status of gorillas remains precarious. Both species, the eastern and western gorilla, are classified as critically endangered by the International Union for Conservation of Nature. The mountain gorilla, a subspecies of the eastern gorilla, has seen a slight population increase due to intensive conservation efforts, but their numbers remain fragile, with only about 1,000 individuals left in the wild. Western lowland gorillas are more numerous, but face escalating threats from poaching and habitat encroachment. Ecotourism has emerged as a vital tool in gorilla conservation, providing a financial incentive for local communities to protect gorilla habitats. Carefully managed gorilla trekking programs allow visitors to observe these animals in their natural environment, fostering a greater appreciation and generating funds for conservation initiatives. However, ecotourism must be approached with caution to minimize the risk of disease transmission from humans to gorillas, necessitating strict health protocols and visitor guidelines. Efforts to protect gorillas extend beyond the forests. International organizations collaborate with local governments to enforce anti-poaching laws, establish protected areas, and support community-based conservation programs. Education plays a crucial role in these efforts, as raising awareness about the ecological importance of gorillas helps build local stewardship. Empowering communities to become guardians of their natural heritage is essential for the long term. Survival of gorilla populations. Scientific research continues to shed light on the complexities of gorilla societies. Long-term studies in places like the Virunga Mountains and Nuwa Balendoki National Park have revealed intricate details about gorilla social structures, mating strategies, and even their cultural traditions. Observations of tool use, play rituals, and social learning suggest that gorilla groups may pass down behaviors across generations, indicating a rudimentary form of cultural transmission similar to that seen in human societies. The genetic closeness between gorillas and humans not only makes them susceptible to human diseases, but also presents unique challenges and opportunities for scientific study. Understanding gorilla genetics can provide insights into human evolution, health, and disease resistance. Conversely, studying gorilla responses to environmental stressors helps conservationists develop more effective strategies to mitigate the impacts of climate change and habitat loss. Climate change poses an emerging threat to gorilla habitats. Shifts in rainfall patterns, temperature increases, and changes in vegetation could alter the delicate balance of forest ecosystems, affecting food availability and forcing gorillas to adapt to new conditions. Monitoring these changes is critical to ensure that conservation strategies remain effective in the face of a rapidly changing environment. In addition to external threats, internal dynamics within gorilla groups can also influence population stability. Infanticide, though rare, is a significant event that occurs when a new silverback takes over a troop and kills the existing infants to bring females back into estrus. This behavior, while brutal, is a natural part of gorilla reproductive strategy, aimed at ensuring the new leader's genes are passed on. However, the emotional toll on the group is evident, as females have been observed mourning the loss of their infants. Gorillas have also been known to display altruistic behaviors, both within and outside their social groups. Instances of gorillas aiding injured companions, adopting orphaned infants, or even interacting peacefully with neighboring troops have been documented. These acts of empathy underscore the sophisticated social and emotional world of gorillas, challenging outdated notions of animal behavior as purely instinctual and devoid of moral complexity. As humanity's understanding of gorillas deepens, so does the ethical responsibility to protect them. Modern conservation is not just about preserving numbers, but about safeguarding the integrity of gorilla societies, ensuring they continue to thrive in their natural environments. This requires a holistic approach that addresses not just poaching and habitat loss, but also the broader socio-economic factors that drive human-wildlife conflict. The future of gorillas hinges on a delicate balance between conservation science, local community engagement, and global awareness. While the challenges are immense, the success stories of certain gorilla populations provide hope. Collaborative efforts that respect both the needs of wildlife and human communities offer a pathway towards coexistence. Every individual, whether through advocacy, education, or responsible tourism, can play a part in securing a future where gorillas continue to roam the forests of Africa. In the intricate web of forest life, gorillas are keystone species whose presence supports the health and diversity of their ecosystems. By consuming vast amounts of plant material and dispersing seeds through their feces, gorillas facilitate the regeneration of forests, which in turn sustains countless other species. Their feeding habits help shape the vegetation structure, opening up clearings that allow sunlight to nourish young plants and creating pathways used by other animals. The loss of gorillas would have cascading effects on biodiversity, underscoring their importance far beyond their immediate family groups. Gorilla societies are marked by a fluid yet stable hierarchy, with the dominant silverback at the center of troop activities. While the silverback leads with authority, his leadership is not solely based on strength. Emotional intelligence, conflict resolution skills, and the ability to maintain group harmony are critical to his role. A silverback who cannot keep peace within his troop risks losing cohesion, as females may leave to join more stable groups. This social dynamic emphasizes that leadership in gorillas is as much about diplomacy as it is about physical dominance. Female gorillas play a pivotal role in the social fabric of the group. Beyond nurturing their offspring, females form strong bonds with each other, engaging in mutual grooming and cooperative care of infants. These relationships foster a supportive environment where young gorillas can grow and learn within a network of care. Female choice is also a significant factor in group dynamics, as they may transfer between groups in search of better protection, resources, or mating opportunities. Such movements help maintain genetic diversity and social stability across gorilla populations. Infancy and adolescence are critical periods in a gorilla's life, filled with learning opportunities through observation and interaction. Young gorillas acquire essential survival skills by mimicking the actions of older group members, from foraging techniques to social cues. Play among juveniles is not merely recreational. It serves as a practical training ground where they develop motor skills, social strategies, and resilience. These formative experiences prepare them for their future roles within the troop, whether as nurturing mothers or protective silverbacks. Sleeping arrangements are an integral part of gorilla life, reflecting both environmental conditions and social structures. Each evening, gorillas construct fresh nests from leaves and branches, a process that showcases their manual dexterity and awareness of their surroundings. Nests are typically built on the ground, although younger gorillas may prefer the safety of elevated positions in trees. The location and arrangement of nests within the troop provide insights into group cohesion, with individuals often nesting in close proximity to those they share strong social bonds with. Gorillas exhibit a profound sensitivity to changes in their environment, a trait that poses both challenges and opportunities for conservationists. They are acutely aware of human presence and can alter their behavior in response to perceived threats. This adaptability is a double-edged sword. While it enables gorillas to cope with certain environmental pressures, it also makes them vulnerable to human disturbances. Understanding these behavioral responses is crucial for designing conservation strategies that minimize stress and promote natural behaviors in gorilla populations. Disease remains one of the most significant threats to gorilla survival. The close genetic relationship between gorillas and humans means that pathogens can easily cross species barriers, with potentially devastating consequences. Outbreaks of diseases like Ebola have wiped out large portions of gorilla populations. In certain regions, conservation programs now incorporate rigorous health monitoring and vaccination campaigns to protect gorillas from such threats. Additionally, strict protocols are enforced for researchers and tourists, including wearing masks and maintaining safe distances to prevent disease transmission. Gorilla diet varies depending on habitat and season, but their foraging strategies are remarkably sophisticated. They are selective feeders, choosing plants based on nutritional content, availability, and ease of digestion. Gorillas consume a wide array of leaves, stems, fruits, flowers, and even bark, adjusting their diet as seasonal changes affect food resources. In some regions, gorillas have been observed using their knowledge of plant properties to seek out specific species that aid in digestion or offer medicinal benefits, highlighting their deep ecological awareness. The vocal repertoire of gorillas continues to intrigue researchers, with ongoing studies aiming to decode the nuances of their communication. Beyond the well-known chest beats and grunts, gorillas use subtle vocalizations to convey information about food sources, emotional states, and group movements. Each gorilla has a unique voice print, allowing individuals to recognize each other even when out of sight. These vocal interactions are complemented by an array of facial expressions and body postures that add layers of meaning to their social exchanges. Gorillas' emotional lives are rich and complex, encompassing a range of feelings from joy and playfulness to grief and empathy. Documented instances of gorillas mourning deceased group members, comforting distressed companions, and even displaying what appears to be compassion towards injured animals challenge simplistic notions of animal behavior. These emotional capacities reflect an evolutionary continuity with humans, offering a window into the shared ancestry and cognitive worlds of primates. Human-gorilla conflict is an ongoing challenge in regions where expanding human populations encroach upon gorilla habitats. Subsistence farming, logging, and mining often lead to habitat fragmentation, forcing gorillas into closer contact with human settlements. This proximity increases the risk of crop raiding by gorillas, which can lead to retaliatory actions from farmers. Conflict mitigation strategies, such as establishing buffer zones, implementing community-led conservation programs, and offering alternative livelihoods, are essential for fostering coexistence. Gorilla conservation is increasingly embracing a holistic approach that integrates ecological preservation with socio-economic development. Projects that support education, healthcare, and sustainable agriculture for local communities have proven effective in reducing pressures on gorilla habitats. By addressing the root causes of habitat destruction and fostering a sense of ownership among local populations, these initiatives create a foundation for long-term conservation success. Technological advancements are enhancing our ability to monitor and protect gorilla populations. Satellite imagery, GPS tracking, and remote camera traps provide valuable data on gorilla movements, habitat use, and population dynamics. These tools allow conservationists to identify critical habitats, monitor threats, and implement targeted protection measures. Additionally, non-invasive genetic sampling from feces offers insights into gorilla health, genetic diversity, and kinship patterns without disturbing the animals. The future of gorillas is intertwined with broader global efforts to combat biodiversity, loss, and climate change. Protecting gorillas requires preserving the integrity of the vast forest ecosystems they inhabit, which in turn benefits countless other species and contributes to global carbon sequestration efforts. International cooperation, backed by strong political will and adequate funding, is essential to scale up conservation initiatives and address the multifaceted challenges facing gorillas. Public awareness campaigns play a vital role in garnering support for gorilla conservation. Documentaries, educational programs, and social media initiatives help bridge the gap between distant wildlife and global audiences, fostering empathy and a sense of shared responsibility. Iconic individuals like Dian Fossey and Coco the gorilla have left lasting legacies, inspiring generations to care about the fate of gorillas and the preservation of our planet's biodiversity. Cultural perceptions of gorillas have evolved significantly over the decades. Once feared as savage beasts, gorillas are now celebrated as intelligent, social, and emotionally complex beings. This shift in perception reflects broader changes in how humans view their relationship with the natural world. As symbols of conservation, gorillas embody the delicate balance between strength and vulnerability, reminding us of the profound interconnectedness of life. In research settings, gorillas have contributed to groundbreaking studies in cognition, communication, and emotional intelligence. Experiments involving problem-solving tasks, mirror recognition, and symbolic language use have demonstrated that gorillas possess advanced cognitive abilities. These findings challenge traditional distinctions between humans and other animals, prompting deeper philosophical questions about consciousness, sentience, and the moral obligations humans have towards other species. Gorilla tourism, when managed responsibly, offers a sustainable pathway for conservation. Revenues generated from permits and eco-lodges fund park operations, anti-poaching patrols, and community development projects. Tourists who experience the awe of observing gorillas in their natural habitat often become lifelong advocates for wildlife protection. However, the delicate balance between tourism benefits and ecological impacts requires continuous monitoring and adaptive management to ensure that gorilla well-being remains the top priority. Efforts to reintroduce gorillas into the wild have seen varying degrees of success. Captive-born gorillas face numerous challenges when transitioning to natural habitats, including the need to develop foraging skills, social adaptability, and awareness of natural predators and hazards. Carefully planned reintroduction programs involve a gradual acclimatization process, where gorillas are introduced to semi-wild environments before full release. These programs emphasize the importance of post-release monitoring to ensure the well-being and survival of the reintroduced individuals. One key aspect of gorilla behavior that continues to fascinate scientists is their conflict resolution strategies. While disputes within groups do occur, especially over food or social hierarchy, gorillas generally prefer non-violent solutions. Ritualized displays, vocalizations, and body postures often suffice to de-escalate tensions. Chest beating, a common display among males, serves not as an outright challenge, but as a demonstration of strength meant to avoid physical confrontations. These displays follow a predictable sequence, allowing rivals to assess each other's intent and back down without resorting to violence. The chest-beating behavior itself is more nuanced than once thought. Recent studies using audio analysis have revealed that the resonance of a chest beat can provide information about the male's body size, serving as an honest signal in social interactions. The timing, rhythm, and frequency of beats are unique to each individual, functioning much like a signature call that broadcasts the male's presence and status within the forest. These vocal and physical signals contribute to the social cohesion and structure of gorilla communities. Mother-infant bonds are among the most profound in gorilla society. From birth, infants are cradled and carried by their mothers, who provide constant care and protection. The nurturing continues as the infant grows, with the mother teaching essential life skills through demonstration and guidance. These bonds are not only vital for the infant's survival, but also serve as the foundation for future social relationships. Orphaned infants, in the absence of their mothers, may be adopted by other females or even by a tolerant silverback, highlighting the depth of social care within the troop. Observations of tool use in gorillas, once considered rare, are becoming more common as research techniques improve. Gorillas have been documented using sticks to gauge the depth of water, fashioning makeshift bridges with branches to cross muddy terrain, and even using stones to crack open tough-shelled fruits. These behaviors demonstrate problem-solving abilities and suggest that cultural transmission of learned behaviors occurs within groups. Such findings blur the traditional lines between human and animal intelligence, offering fresh perspectives on the evolution of cognition. Gorillas also possess an intricate sense of self-awareness. Mirror recognition tests, often used as a measure of self-awareness in animals, have yielded intriguing results with gorillas. While not all individuals show clear signs of recognizing their reflection as themselves, some have exhibited behaviors indicating self-inspection, such as grooming parts of their body only visible in the mirror. These findings fuel ongoing debates about the nature and levels of consciousness among great apes. In the wild, gorillas face competition for resources, not only from other gorillas, but also from sympatric species like chimpanzees, forest elephants, and various ungulates. Resource competition shapes gorilla foraging strategies and influences their choice of habitat. In some areas, overlapping territories lead to subtle interactions between species, where gorillas adjust their activity patterns to avoid direct competition. These dynamics underscore the complexity of forest ecosystems and the adaptive strategies gorillas employ to thrive within them. Despite their herbivorous diet, gorillas occasionally ingest small insects or grubs found on leaves and bark. This incidental ingestion contributes minor but essential protein to their diet. Some researchers hypothesize that gorillas may selectively consume certain plants with insect larvae, suggesting a more opportunistic approach to foraging than previously thought. Such behaviors reflect the dietary flexibility of gorillas and their ability to exploit available resources to meet nutritional needs. The role of elder gorillas, particularly older females, is often underestimated in social structures. Matriarchs possess a wealth of ecological knowledge, such as the locations of seasonal food sources and safe nesting sites. Their experience benefits the entire troop, especially during periods of scarcity. In many groups, the loss of an elder female can disrupt group cohesion, demonstrating the importance of intergenerational knowledge transfer in maintaining group stability. Gorilla hands and feet are marvels of evolutionary design, combining strength with dexterity. The opposable thumb and big toe allow for precise manipulation of objects, while the robust musculature supports their massive weight during locomotion. The sensitivity of their fingertips, covered in unique fingerprints, enables them to perform delicate tasks like peeling fruit or grooming companions with remarkable care. This combination of power and precision plays a vital role in their daily survival activities in dense forest environments. Visual communication is often limited, prompting gorillas to rely heavily on auditory and olfactory cues. Scent marking, while not as prominent as in some other mammals, does occur in the form of glandular secretions and fecal deposits that signal territory use. These chemical cues complement vocalizations and physical displays, creating a multi-layered communication system that operates effectively in the visually obstructed habitats where gorillas live. Seasonal variations significantly influence gorilla behavior and movement patterns. During periods of fruit abundance, gorilla groups may range over smaller areas, spending extended periods in fruiting trees. Conversely, in lean seasons, they expand their foraging range and increase their reliance on fibrous vegetation like stems and leaves. These seasonal shifts require a high degree of ecological knowledge and adaptability, ensuring that the group's nutritional needs are met year-round. The social lives of male gorillas who do not lead troops are equally complex, known as lone silverbacks or bachelor males. These individuals often roam independently, seeking opportunities to establish their own groups. While some may eventually attract females and form new troops, others spend years in solitary existence. Interactions between lone silverbacks and established groups are tense, but are governed by a code of displays and vocal exchanges, designed to avoid direct confrontation unless absolutely necessary. Gorillas exhibit remarkable patience and persistence in their foraging activities. They have been observed dismantling intricate barriers of thorns and vines to access desirable food items. This meticulous approach, coupled with their deep understanding of plant cycles, allows them to exploit resources that are inaccessible to less dexterous animals. Such behaviors reflect a level of planning and foresight, adding further depth to our understanding of gorilla intelligence. The impact of human cultural artifacts on gorillas is an emerging area of study. In regions where gorillas come into contact with human refuse, individuals have been observed interacting with discarded objects out of curiosity. While this behavior poses risks, such as ingestion of harmful materials, it also demonstrates the gorilla's inquisitive nature. Understanding how gorillas perceive and interact with novel objects can inform strategies to mitigate negative human-wildlife interactions. The transmission of learned behaviors within gorilla groups is a subtle, yet powerful force shaping their culture. Juveniles learn by observing older individuals, not through explicit teaching, but via a process of social learning. Over time, these acquired behaviors become group traditions, varying between populations. Such cultural variations provide valuable insights into the evolution of human cultural practices and the cognitive capacities required for their development. As gorilla research progresses, ethical considerations remain at the forefront. The balance between the need for close observation and the imperative to minimize disturbance is delicate. Non-invasive research techniques, such as remote observation, fecal DNA sampling, and acoustic monitoring, are now standard practice. These methods ensure that the pursuit of knowledge does not come at the expense of gorilla well-being, fostering a research ethic grounded in respect and responsibility. Gorillas inspire a sense of awe and reflection in those who encounter them, whether in the wild or through the lens of scientific study. Their gentle demeanor, complex social lives, and close evolutionary ties to humans challenge us to reconsider our place within the natural world. The story of gorillas is not just a narrative of a species fighting for survival. It is a mirror, reflecting humanity's own journey, fraught with challenges but guided by resilience, intelligence, and the capacity for empathy. In the realm of primate conservation, gorillas have become emblematic of broader environmental struggles. Their plight underscores the interconnectedness of species, habitats, and human societies. Conservation strategies that benefit gorillas often have ripple effects, protecting other fauna and flora that share their ecosystems. For instance, preserving gorilla habitats conserves watersheds critical for human communities and safeguards biodiversity hotspots that harbor myriad other species. This holistic perspective reinforces the notion that saving gorillas is not an isolated endeavor, but a cornerstone of preserving the whole ecological integrity of vast forested landscapes. Gorilla locomotion is a study in controlled power and balance. Their primary mode of movement, knuckle walking, involves walking on the knuckles of their forelimbs while keeping their fingers curled inward. This adaptation supports their large body size and helps them navigate through dense undergrowth and uneven forest terrain. Gorillas also display remarkable agility when climbing trees, despite their massive build. Juveniles and even adult females are known to venture into the canopy in search of fruit, deftly maneuvering through branches that would struggle to support heavier males. Climate change poses an insidious threat to gorillas, altering the delicate balance of their habitats. Shifts in rainfall patterns affect the fruiting cycles of key plant species, while rising temperatures may facilitate the spread of diseases and invasive species. Habitat corridors that once connected gorilla populations are becoming fragmented, increasing the risk of inbreeding and reducing genetic diversity. Conservation efforts are now incorporating climate resilience strategies, such as maintaining ecological corridors and protecting high-altitude refuges where gorillas might retreat as their current habitats become less hospitable. Gorillas' role in forest regeneration is a testament to their ecological importance. By consuming a diverse array of fruits and dispersing seeds across large distances, gorillas contribute to the propagation of plant species, many of which depend on large-bodied animals for seed dispersal. The process is not random. Gorillas often defecate in nutrient-rich clearings, providing an ideal environment for seedlings to germinate. This mutually beneficial relationship between gorillas and the forest exemplifies the intricate dependencies that sustain tropical ecosystems. While poaching for bushmeat and the illegal pet trade has historically devastated gorilla populations, community-based conservation initiatives have shown promising results in curbing these threats. Empowering local communities through alternative livelihood programs, such as ecotourism, handicrafts, and sustainable agriculture, reduces reliance on poaching. Educational campaigns that emphasize the ecological and cultural significance of gorillas foster a sense of pride and stewardship among local populations, transforming former poachers into conservation allies. The emotional intelligence of gorillas manifests in subtle and profound ways. Social grooming, a cornerstone of gorilla social life, serves not only to maintain hygiene, but also to reinforce social bonds and alleviate stress. Gorillas are adept at reading the emotional cues of their companions, adjusting their behavior in response to the moods of others. Comforting gestures, such as gentle touches and embraces, are common in moments of distress, reflecting a deep capacity for empathy and social awareness. In captivity, gorillas have been part of pioneering research into interspecies communication. The most famous example is Coco, a western lowland gorilla who learned to use a modified version of American Sign Language to communicate with her human caretakers. Coco's ability to express thoughts, emotions, and even humor challenged traditional perceptions of animal cognition. While debates continue regarding the depth of such communication, Coco's legacy has undeniably expanded our understanding of the cognitive and emotional capacities of great apes. Gorilla gestures form a rich and nuanced language of their own. Researchers have cataloged over 100 distinct gestures used by gorillas to communicate with one another. These include invitations to play, signals of submission, and requests for grooming. Many gestures are shared across different great ape species, suggesting a common ancestral origin for these non-verbal communication forms. The spontaneous use of these gestures in novel contexts points to a level of intentionality and flexibility in gorilla communication. Reproductive strategies among gorillas involve complex social dynamics. While the dominant silverback typically sires the majority of offspring within a troop, subordinate males occasionally gain mating opportunities through stealth or by forming coalitions. Female gorillas exercise mate choice by transferring between groups, seeking males who offer better protection or genetic diversity. These mating behaviors ensure a degree of genetic mixing, reducing the risks associated with inbreeding and enhancing the adaptive potential of populations. The mortality rate among infant gorillas is influenced by various factors, including predation, disease, and infanticide by rival males. Infanticide typically occurs when a new silverback takes over a group, killing unweaned infants to bring the females back into estrus. While this behavior may seem brutal, it is a strategy aimed at maximizing reproductive success. Interestingly, some females have been observed forming coalitions to protect their infants or engaging in deceptive behaviors to conceal their offspring from infanticidal males. Gorilla nests serve as more than just sleeping platforms. They also play a role in social learning and environmental interaction. Young gorillas begin practicing nest building at a few months old, mimicking the actions of their mothers and siblings. The quality of a gorilla's nest can indicate the individual's skill and experience, with older, more adept gorillas constructing sturdier and more comfortable nests. Nest sites are carefully chosen based on safety, proximity to food sources, and group cohesion. Predation on gorillas is relatively rare, but not non-existent. Leopards are the primary natural predators capable of threatening gorillas, particularly isolated juveniles or lone individuals. However, the collective defense strategy of gorilla troops, led by the formidable silverback, deters most would-be predators. The silverback's imposing size, strength, and aggressive displays serve as an effective deterrent, making direct attacks on gorillas a high-risk endeavor for predators. Gorillas' responses to human observers vary depending on their habituation status. Groups accustomed to human presence often tolerate close observation, continuing their daily activities with minimal disruption. In contrast, unhabituated gorillas may react with caution or flee upon detecting humans. The process of habituation is carried out gradually and ethically, ensuring that the gorillas do not perceive humans as a threat while maintaining respect for their natural behaviors and boundaries. The diet of gorillas, though predominantly vegetarian, is carefully balanced to meet their nutritional needs. Leaves and stems provide bulk and fiber, fruits offer sugars and vitamins, and occasional consumption of soil or clay helps neutralize plant toxins and supplement mineral intake. This practice, known as geophagy, highlights gorillas' instinctive nutritional regulation, a behavior observed in many herbivorous species to counteract dietary imbalances. Gorilla play behavior extends beyond juvenile stages, with adults also engaging in playful interactions. Play fighting, chasing, and acrobatic displays are common, serving not only as recreation, but also as mechanisms for reinforcing social bonds and practicing motor skills. Play allows gorillas to experiment with social roles and boundaries in a low-risk context, fostering group cohesion and individual development. The conservation of gorillas requires continuous adaptation to emerging threats. The global demand for resources like coltan, used in electronic devices, drives mining activities that encroach upon gorilla habitats. Conservation organizations advocate for responsible sourcing, promoting initiatives that certify conflict-free minerals. These efforts, coupled with international pressure, aim to reduce the environmental impact of resource extraction and protect critical gorilla habitats from further degradation. Ecotourism, while beneficial in generating conservation funds, must be managed to minimize its ecological footprint. Limiting visitor numbers, enforcing strict health protocols, and ensuring that tourism revenues are equitably distributed among local communities are essential components of sustainable tourism models. Successful examples in Rwanda and Uganda demonstrate that when tourism is conducted responsibly, it can foster a virtuous cycle of conservation, economic development, and community empowerment. Technological innovations continue to enhance gorilla conservation efforts. Drones equipped with high-resolution cameras provide real-time monitoring of gorilla populations and habitat conditions. Machine learning algorithms analyze vast datasets to predict poaching hotspots and habitat degradation trends, allowing for proactive intervention. These technological tools, combined with traditional ecological knowledge, create a powerful synergy for effective conservation management. In the cultural imagination, gorillas have shifted from symbols of fear to icons of conservation. Media representations, from documentaries to films, have played a pivotal role in reshaping public perceptions. By portraying gorillas as intelligent, social, and emotionally rich beings, these narratives foster empathy and support for their protection. One of the most overlooked aspects of gorilla life is their remarkable patience and mindfulness in their environment. Unlike many animals that are constantly on the move, gorillas often sit in one spot for extended periods, methodically stripping leaves from branches, inspecting their surroundings, and engaging in quiet social interactions. This slow-paced lifestyle not only conserves energy, but also reflects a deep attunement to their habitat. Every movement a gorilla makes appears deliberate, as if guided by an intrinsic understanding of the forest's rhythms. Gorillas have also been observed displaying a level of foresight that hints at future planning. For example, there are instances where gorillas will gather and store bundles of leaves to create sleeping nests long before dusk falls. Some individuals have been seen hoarding particularly favored food items, hiding them in secluded spots to ensure future access. These behaviors, though not as advanced as human planning, demonstrate a cognitive sophistication that challenges outdated assumptions about animal intelligence. Infant gorillas develop through a prolonged childhood compared to many other mammals. This extended dependency period allows young gorillas to acquire complex social skills and ecological knowledge. Juveniles spend countless hours playing, learning not only physical coordination, but also subtle social cues that govern troop dynamics. Through play, they test boundaries, form alliances, and practice the communication skills that will be vital in adulthood. This extended juvenile phase is one of the key reasons gorillas, like humans, develop rich social lives. Intergroup encounters between gorilla troops are tense and laden with complex signals. When two groups cross paths, the silverbacks engage in ritualized displays meant to assert dominance without escalating to physical combat. These encounters involve chest beating, loud vocalizations, and impressive visual displays like branch breaking or mock charges. Only in rare instances do these standoffs lead to actual fighting, as the risks of injury for both sides are significant. The ability to resolve such conflicts through non-lethal means highlights the gorilla's preference for maintaining social order through communication rather than violence. Disease remains one of the most immediate and severe threats to wild gorilla populations. Outbreaks of diseases such as Ebola have decimated entire populations in certain regions. Due to their genetic similarity to humans, gorillas are susceptible to many of the same pathogens, making human-wildlife disease transmission a critical concern. Conservation programs now incorporate strict health protocols, including quarantine measures for researchers and ecotourists, as well as vaccination initiatives aimed at curbing disease outbreaks in gorilla populations. In recent years, the emotional depth of gorillas has been further affirmed by documented cases of mourning behaviors. Observations include individuals staying close to the body of a deceased troop member, exhibiting subdued behavior, and even grooming the body as if to comfort it. Mothers have been known to carry the corpses of their infants for days, unwilling to let go. These behaviors suggest a level of emotional complexity that resonates deeply with human experiences of grief and loss. Gorillas also play a pivotal role in the spiritual and cultural narratives of indigenous communities living near their habitats. In many cultures, gorillas are regarded as ancestral spirits or guardians of the forest. Traditional folklore often portrays them as wise beings who possess knowledge of medicinal plants and natural cycles. Recognizing and respecting these cultural perspectives is essential in creating conservation initiatives that are inclusive and culturally sensitive, ensuring that local communities are active participants in preserving gorilla populations. The advent of citizen science is empowering ordinary people to contribute to gorilla conservation efforts. Through mobile apps and online platforms, tourists and local guides can report gorilla sightings, habitat disturbances, and signs of poaching. This influx of real-time data provides conservationists with valuable information to monitor gorilla movements and respond swiftly to emerging threats. Citizen science also fosters a sense of global stewardship, connecting people across continents in a shared mission to protect one of Earth's most iconic species. The intricacies of gorilla vocalizations are still being unraveled by researchers. Beyond the familiar grunts and hoots, gorillas use a wide array of subtle vocal cues to communicate. For instance, low-frequency rumbles are used during feeding to maintain group cohesion, while specific calls signal the discovery of abundant food sources. These vocalizations, combined with body language and facial expressions, create a rich tapestry of communication that is still only partially understood by humans. Habitat restoration has emerged as a vital component of gorilla conservation. Efforts include reforestation projects that reconnect fragmented forest patches, providing gorillas with safe corridors for movement and genetic exchange. These initiatives not only benefit gorillas, but also enhance carbon sequestration, mitigate soil erosion, and support the livelihoods of local communities through sustainable forestry practices. The success of habitat restoration depends on long-term commitment and collaboration between governments, NGOs, and indigenous populations. Gorillas' sense of touch is highly developed and plays a crucial role in their social interactions. Grooming sessions, for example, are not merely hygienic activities, but acts of social bonding. The gentle combing of fur with fingers and lips helps to soothe tensions, reaffirm alliances, and convey affection. This tactile communication complements visual and auditory signals, enriching the social fabric of gorilla groups. The process by which young males transition into silverbacks is gradual and influenced by both biological and social factors. As males mature, their physical transformation includes the development of the characteristic silver-colored saddle of hair on their backs, increased body mass, and the deepening of vocalizations. Socially, the aspiring silverback must navigate complex dynamics within the troop, learning leadership skills, conflict mediation, and foraging strategies. Some young males will eventually leave their natal groups to establish new troops, a critical process for maintaining genetic diversity within populations. Environmental education, targeted at children in gorilla range countries, is proving to be a powerful tool for long-term conservation. School programs that incorporate field trips to protected areas, storytelling, and interactive learning foster an early appreciation for gorillas and their ecosystems. By cultivating a sense of pride and responsibility from a young age, these initiatives aim to nurture future generations of conservation leaders who will champion the protection of their natural heritage. The role of females in shaping the social structure of gorilla troops is profound, yet often underappreciated. Female alliances can influence the stability of a troop, support the silverback's leadership, and provide collective defense against external threats. Females also play a pivotal role in determining group movements, especially when it comes to foraging decisions. Their intimate knowledge of the landscape, gained through years of experience, guides the troop to the most fruitful feeding grounds. Gorilla cognition extends to an understanding of fairness and reciprocity. In experimental settings, gorillas have shown reluctance to engage in tasks where rewards are distributed unequally among participants. Instances of sharing food among troop members, especially in kin relationships, further suggest an innate sense of fairness and social obligation. These findings align with similar observations in other great apes and contribute to ongoing discussions about the evolutionary origins of moral behavior. In the face of escalating environmental challenges, the story of gorilla conservation is not one of despair, but of resilience and hope. Concerted efforts by international organizations, local governments, and grassroots movements have led to tangible successes, such as population increases in certain protected areas. These victories, while hard-won, demonstrate that with sustained commitment and adaptive strategies, it is possible to reverse the tide of decline. One of the most promising frontiers in gorilla conservation is the integration of indigenous knowledge systems with scientific research. Local communities possess intimate knowledge of the forests, including animal behavior, plant properties, and ecological cycles. By respecting and incorporating this knowledge, conservation programs become more effective and culturally relevant, fostering a deeper connection between people and wildlife. The human fascination with gorillas reflects a deeper yearning to understand our place within the natural world. Gorillas, with their profound social bonds, emotional depth, and gentle strength, embody qualities that resonate across cultures and generations. They challenge us to reflect on the impact of our actions, not only on their survival, but on the health of the planet as a whole. In conclusion, the narrative of gorillas is a tapestry woven from threads of biology, ecology, culture, and human responsibility. Every aspect of their existence, from the quiet intimacy of a mother cradling her infant to the thundering displays of a silverback asserting his dominance, speaks to the complexity and beauty of life in its purest form. So, after everything you've learned, who do you think would win, a group of people or a single gorilla? Let me know in the comments.